Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video I want to talk about the Walmart battery I recently purchased for my '04 Vic and the Costco battery I recently purchased for my 2010 Merc. So before I get into the comparison of these two batteries, I think I should tell you what prompted this video in the first place. So for the past 2 weeks it's been a little warm here. And what I mean is daytime temperatures have been just under 100 degrees and just over 100 degrees. And I noticed when I would pop the hood on my cars, I noticed a little residue, a little fluid residue on the top of both of my battery tops, right where the vent caps were. And being that it was so hot, I just assumed that some of the water was evaporating out of the battery because it had gotten too hot or it expanded. And I was looking at it, and I did what any normal person would do. I closed the hood and I walked away. But then I got to thinking about it over the next few days, and I started thinking, if the water is coming out of the battery, I probably should refill it. So the first place I got on YouTube and I started searching, how to add water to a battery. And I watched a ton of videos, and basically the consensus of what I walked away with is when a battery is in the first years of its life, say the first year or the second year, you really want to keep the water level topped up and refill it as necessary. But if the battery is much older than that, say if it's in its fourth or fifth or even older years, you really don't want to add water to it, because if you add water to it, it may dilute the sulfuric acid water solution, and it'll actually degrade the battery even worse. So what I came away with is it's kind of important to keep your water level topped up. And I'm sure you can file this video with the other one about checking air in the spare tire. Ain't nobody got time for that. Out of 100 people, maybe one or two is doing this, but I still thought I would make a video just to talk about it. So of course, you don't want to use tap water to refill the battery because that may have trace minerals that could react with the solution. So what I found is a safe option is to use distilled water, and that has all the impurities and the minerals distilled out of it, so it's just water. Before I want to talk about adding water to it, I want to talk a little bit about preventative maintenance in general. So the first thing, you can do all of this with the battery in the vehicle, of course, but in order to do a thorough visual inspection and just to make it easier on yourself, it's a lot easier if you take the battery out of the vehicle. And on this particular battery, it's a lot easier if you remove the handle for these things, because they put the handle right over these vent caps, and you really can't look into it or add water with this thing in the way. So make it easier on yourself and remove this little handle for the battery. So first thing you want to do is you want to remove the battery out of there. And it's always a good idea to get your vacuum out and vacuum the battery tray, and underneath the battery there's always something nasty under there. After you get the battery out, you want to clean the cables. Get yourself one of these battery brushes. Clean your cables on your car, and then clean the post terminals on the battery. I can remember these tools being, 50 cents or 99 cents, but now they're $3. Give me a break. So once you get the battery out and you've got the terminals clean, you want to look at the battery. You want to look on the outside for any cracks or indentations or damage from vibrations. I can't tell you how many times I've seen batteries where the battery hold down has been installed backwards or improperly, and after a couple hundred miles or a couple thousand miles of jostling around the engine, it'll actually poke a hole into the case and it'll start leaking fluid. So that's why you want to take the battery out of the car and look at all 6 sides, even the bottom, to make sure there's no punctures or leaks in the battery. Get yourself a paper towel and wipe off the top of the battery before you pop these caps, because when you pop these caps, if you're wiping off the crud, you might wipe it off down into the battery, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so once you get all that off, you want to check the water in the battery, and when you look down in the holes, there should be 6 holes, one for each cell. There's 6 cells in here, and you'll see there's like a little cylinder in the bottom of the hole, and the water level should be to the top of that, to the bottom of that little cylinder down in there. Once you pop these and look down in there, you'll see what I mean, and you'll want to get a little flashlight, nothing too bright, just barely enough light to look down in that little hole, because anything brighter, the water will shine the reflection back and it'll blind you and you can't see anything. So once you've determined if it needs water, you'll need to add your water. And usually the easiest way to do that is with a turkey baster, but I mean, if you're like me, if your turkey baster spends any amount of time in the garage, it's been contaminated with all kinds of stuff. So what I do is I came up with this, and I really like this because it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go to the store and buy it. What I do is I get a 16-ounce water bottle here, and I even measured off with a measuring cup of how many ounces is in this bottle when I use it, so I know how much water I'm putting in each battery. So I'll fill this up with water, and what I'll do is I'll take a little safety pin or a thumbtack or something sharp, and you just poke a tiny little hole in this plastic lid. And what that does, I'll give you a little demonstration. What it does is it basically works like a squirt gun, and you just squirt water into each cell, and this works out pretty good because slower the better, because if you overfill it, you really don't want to do that. So see how that works, see how much control I have over that stream of water, and I found this works out really well, and of course it doesn't cost anything. So once you get your battery filled up with water, get your vent caps back on there, and you can install it back in the car. And I made note to keep track of how much water I put in each battery. And the battery in the Vic, it took 9 ounces of water, and the battery in the Merc took only 5 ounces of water. And what I would like to believe why that is because the Merc, 99% of the time it's on the driveway, the Vic, 99% of the time it's in the driveway, and the Merc, 99% of the time is in the garage. So when it's 100 degrees outside on the driveway, it's really only 80, 85 in the garage, so it's much cooler in the garage. So I would imagine the high temperatures is evaporating most of the water in the Vic battery. Okay, one thing I want to talk about now is the why I bought a Walmart battery first and then why I bought a Costco battery second. So back in February of 18, a year and a half ago, I was starting to shop for a battery for the Vic. I wasn't having any starting issues, but just the fact that the battery was 9 going on 10 years old, I wanted to kind of nip that in the bud before I had any problems. So I started shopping around, and I looked at all my local auto parts stores, AutoZone, O'Reilly, Napa Auto Parts, and then there's a Walmart and the Ford dealer. And so I went ahead and went with the Walmart because it was the cheapest and it had the best warranty for the price paid. So one more thing before I get into the comparison is that the 9-year-old or the 10-year-old battery that was in my Vic, I took it to get tested to see if it would pass a test. And so I took it to Walmart, I took it to the Ford dealer, I took it to AutoZone, and I took it to O'Reilly. I took it to 4 different places, and they all put it on their tester, and I found something interesting. 50% of the time they said it passed, it did not need to be replaced, and 50% of the time they said it failed and I needed to buy a new battery. So I really don't have a whole lot of faith in that new electronic battery tester. I'm kind of old school where it should be, if a battery is suspect, it should be charged for a day or so. The water level should be brought up, and then it should be tested with a load tester. And then if you even want to go that far, the water level should be checked for the specific gravity to check the sulfuric acid water solution concentration. But of course, ain't nobody got time for that. They just put it on the electronic tester. It takes 10 seconds and there you go. So so being that it failed 50% of the time, I decided to go ahead and replace it. And when I got the Merc, that battery was also 9, almost 10 years old. And again, I wasn't having any starting issues or any problems with the vehicle starting or running. I just wanted to nip it in the bud and head off any problems before they happened. And I figured new car, might as well get a new battery. And so this time I chose a Costco battery because I had a Costco membership, and I just thought I'd try it out. Okay, so now let's get into the comparison of these batteries. And so for this particular battery, this is called a Group 65N, and that should be pretty much all the batteries for the Panthers, Crown Vic, Grand Marquis Town Car. And so the Costco battery, or I should probably start with the Walmart battery. I bought that back in February of 2018, and so it's a year and a half old. The base price was $93.76, and they got me for a $1 fee, a $12 core, and $7 tax. So total was $114 and some change. Now looking at the Costco battery, it's $94.99, so about the same price, same dollar fee, but core is now $3 more. I guess they passed a new law to get more money out of the core. A dollar and some change more for tax, and so total was $120. So really there's only a $6 difference. But what really comes into play is the warranty. On the Walmart battery, it has a traditional 3-year free replacement and a 2-year prorated, which equals a total of a 5-year warranty. And what that means is the first 3 years, if it fails, they'll give you a free battery. And if it fails in the 4th or 5th year, they will prorate the how much money was supposedly left over in the battery, and then they will give you a credit towards the purchase of a new battery. So basically how that works is the total warranty is 5 years, so they take the total cost of the battery, well, not the total, but the base price, $93.76, and then they would divide that by 60 months. Excuse me. So 93 divided by 60 months is $1.56. So let's say, for instance, if it failed after 4 years, that means the warranty would give you 12 months towards the purchase of a new battery. So $1.50 times 12 is roughly, 20 bucks. So they'd give you $20 towards the purchase of a new battery. Now the Costco battery is interesting. I've never seen this before. It has a 3.5-year free replacement, and there is no prorated warranty. And I think the reason why they did this is because for the Walmart battery or any other battery, in order to process that warranty claim, the battery must fail a test. But Costco, I guess they do not want to invest in a tester or training their employees how to test a battery because of the hazards involved or the time. And so if you feel the battery is bad in your Costco battery, you just bring it back and they will give you a free battery, no questions asked. So there's no testing for the Costco batteries, and there is no proration. So, and also the Costco battery is made by Interstate, and the Walmart battery is made by Johnson Controls. Now, one more thing to put into the mix is I did look at a Ford Motorcraft battery. They always send me that mailer to get a battery, and their batteries, check it out, it's $119.99, the same dollar fee, $15 core, $10 in tax, so it's $146. So that's a little bit more than the other two. But here's where I think they're getting your money's worth. On the Ford battery, it has an 8.33-year prorated warranty, so that's 100 months warranty. So that's almost 3.5 years longer than this Walmart 5-year warranty. But again, in order to get that warranty, that's got to fail a test. And then also, if the battery does fail and it leaves you stranded, they'll actually give you free towing service to the nearest Ford dealership. So I can see how that would be a benefit to some people, to get a free tow back to the dealership if they didn't have AAA or they didn't have insurance or something like that. So this is a good choice for some people, but because of my situation, I went with these other two batteries. Okay, hopefully you guys will get out and check the water in your batteries, but I'm sure you won't. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.